for these two teams. So here we go. Prairie Ridge Wolves against the Crystal Lake South Gators. Prairie Ridge takes the ball around the corner, brings it back out to Card. Card throws it over across to Bradshaw. Bradshaw back to Card. They're playing a little pitch and catch there. Back to Bradshaw. Bradshaw underneath tries to go underneath, but gets knocked out of bounds. These two teams, Matt, I said December 1st, back in a conference play. And Bradshaw, that just had the ball, he lit up the first half with 22 points, had 6 three-pointers. That's all he got all game. Goes back out, Peyton Otto. Clear cross pass down to Bradshaw. Bradshaw up at the top, back to Peyton. No good, and loose ball picked up by Gasky. Throws it to Myers. Myers across the timeline, goes underneath. Gasky looking for an outlet pass. Nolan dumps it down to Myers. Myers back to Nolan. Tries to go underneath, knocked out of bounds. These two teams are both 2-1 in the tournament. They're playing for the consolation A bracket. So Myers brings it back out, tries to set something up. Back to Nolan. Myers takes it to the hoop, goes up, not gonna drop. Little volleyball battling there. Nolan picks it up, back out to Myers at 3, not gonna hit it. Pulled down by Prairie Ridge. Oh, we got a little contact there with Dorn, but no foul, hit all ball. Myers again, across the timeline. Got a little bit of a contact there. Logan Card will pick up his first foul. Myers dishes it back off to Logan. Logan throws it around to Gasky. Gasky underneath, tries to go up. But Prairie View picks up the rebound and comes to the timeline. Nice try to steal, tucks it in, but gets knocked out of bounds. As we get some substitutions coming in. James Del Vecchio coming in. Peyton takes it across the timeline, gets it back, puts about a 12-footer up and in. Myers Hinkle Holiday Classic here for you. Game number 29 of the whole tournament. As Nolan and Crystal Lake South take a long shot, nothing underneath it. Friedson picks up the rebound, but he gets fouled in the process. And he'll go to the line. Josh Friedson, I'm sorry about that. 6'9". 6'9" boy, big boy underneath. First shot is good. South makes a substitution now. Weston Buckner comes in. Second shot is good. As we're all tied up at 2. Prairie View takes it around. Card takes it, throws it back across to Bradshaw. Bradshaw back to Card. Over to Lamb. Lamb throws it across to Bradshaw, who puts up a 3. That hits the rim, and Friesen picks up the rebound. And now the Gators try to move it up court. Myers takes it, passes it over to Nolan. Nolan back to Myers. Little game of catch there. Underneath, they try to go. It goes out of bounds. And we lose the ball as it goes through the doorway. Another substitution coming in for Prairie View. These two teams, like I said, met December 1st, and Ridge won 61-43. Winner of this game plays the winner of our next game, Bartlett versus Marion Central, for the championship in Consolation A. A long three, not gonna drop. And again, Friesen picks up that rebound. Tries to take it across the timeline himself, throws it out to Myers. Myers comes up to the top of the key, then pulls back a little bit, looking for Nolan. Nolan back to Myers, back to Nolan, back to Myers. A little game of catch again. Gasky drops a field goal from right over the stripe, so count it as 3. Lamb takes it, throws it around to Bradshaw, back to Lamb, back to Payton. They're working the perimeters, try to get Lamb cutting underneath, but that goes out of bounds, and South will inbounds it right here in front of us. Timeout on the court here. Trying to slow this game down a little bit maybe. Don't make any stupid mistakes with those throwing balls away. Crystal Lake South comes into this tournament with a 7-4 record, and Prairie View is going to come into this at 10-2. Let's go back to that last play here where that three-pointer where he knocked it down. Nothing but net from the far side. All right, the boys come back out of their little huddles, hopefully readjusting some things. Crystal Lake South will be bringing it in. Full press on, as of right now. The Prairie View Wolves are not letting Crystal Lake get into this game easily. Trying to put a double trap on him as Nolan takes the ball, dumps it out to Myers. Myers is being guarded by Lamb. Throws it back to Nolan. Nolan back to Myers. Myers again back to Nolan at the top. Almost thrown away and stolen by Lamb. Lamb goes in, puts the one-handed layup, gets fouled on the way in, and he'll be going to the line. Corey Lamb for Prairie Ridge. He puts the first one down. I've got Corey Lamb here as a 6'1" at 160 pounds. Second shot is up, and it is good. Myers trying to take it in again, getting pressured by Lamb as this full court press is on. As Gasky takes it and dumps it back over to Myers across that timeline as they take it at the arc. Nolan will take it at the top, back to Myers, underneath to Weston Buckner, who will put it down. And another foul on South. Card will bring it up. Throws it to Lamb. Back over to Card. Peyton Otto dumps it clear across to Card. Trying to set something up here. Peyton for 3. Peyton Otto for 3 and not going to drop, but we've got a foul underneath for that rebound. So they're inbounding it underneath. Lamb takes it, dumps it off to Logan Card. Card over to Peyton. Card try to set. Nice bounce pass underneath. Lamb for two, and he hits it. Nolan dumps it deep underneath to Tyler Haskins, and he gets a little contact there. Fouls on Brian Dorn. It's the team's third foul. Tyler's first attempt is no good. Prairie View is making some substitutions as Haskins attempts his second from the free stripe. And this one goes in and out, but not going to drop. We have a little fight for the ball underneath as it rolls out of bounds, but Prairie View regains possession. Prairie View trying to set a quicker pace there. Haskin takes it over, cross over to Buckner. Buckner over, across to Haskin. Throws it underneath, comes back out. Right from about 12 feet, rims it, not gonna drop. As South tries to lay one up underneath by Corey Gasky, not going to happen. Lamb takes it from the three stripe, just off to the right. Gives it back to Card. Card over to Lamb. Lamb back to Card. They're trying to set something up underneath. Dorn clear across the court. Loading. A nice three for Brian Dorn, who drops that one. Sinipsop, Tim picks up the ball, dumps it over to Dolan. Nolan again, back to Sinipson, back to Haskin. Sinip for three, and he hits it. And I think I'm pronouncing that name wrong. Sinipop, I think it's pronounced. Waiting to hear the official scores on that one. It's fun trying to figure out these kids' names. As we're on 23 seconds left in the first, as Prairie is trying to control the clock a little bit. Doran taking the ball, throws it over to Lamb. Lamb tries to take it in, then pulls it back out. As Chad Card drops about a 12-foot. As we come to the end of the first quarter. So at the end of one quarter so far, we've got the Prairie View Ridge Wolves leading 11-8. Brian Dorn has hit three, and I think we're going to show that replay right now. As he takes it from behind the arc and drops that one. Corey Lamb has come off the bench, has gotten 4 points so far for him. For the Gators of Crystal Lake, we've got spread out a little bit across their board. Matthew Myers has hit a three. Snips has gotten a three. Got the big man Josh Friesen is hit both of his free throws, which has totaled for all of their 8 points so far. The boys have broken their huddle. They're coming back out on the court to start the second quarter. Both teams with 3 team fouls. South will inbound the ball across from us as they bring it in, and we're back underway at the Hinkle Holiday Classic basketball tournament here at Jacobs High School. Brought to you by Myers. Sanap for three, and he drains another one. Prairie Ridge takes it across the timeline. Otto moving the ball around. Tossing it to Card. Card to Loading. Loading to Otto. Back to Card. Loading looking clear across to Otto. Underneath to Bradshaw, who drops, does not go. Sanab takes it over to Myers. Myers trying to set something up. Prairie View in their zone defense, moving as a team, looks underneath. Back out from the corner for three is Nolan Wild. And out. Prairie Ridge with 11, and the Gators with 14 to slow this game down. Prairie Ridge takes their second time out of the day. These two teams are, like I said, played each other in December, the 1st of December, and I think the Gators are looking to get some revenge. All right, Booth tells me we've got something here. The three-pointer that we ended this with Luke Nolan's three-pointer. All right. Prairie Ridge takes it across the timeline. Otto back over to Loading. Tries to go underneath. Otto again dumps it underneath to Bradshaw. Bradshaw for three, not going to drop. Rebound, and we got a foul. Andrew Eschweiler gets fouled underneath while he's trying to put the rebound back up. Another big man, 6'7", 190 pounds for Prairie Ridge. He'll go to the line. His first shot is good. Gets his name on the scoring card now. As South makes some substitutions. Gators bring back Luke Nolan. Second shot is good. And he's 2 for 2 from the free strike. Nolan takes the ball up court, trying to cross that timeline as he dumps it in. Nolan again at the top, throws it to Snop. Underneath to Buckner, and he gets contact underneath. Buckner's going to come to have a seat after that charge. As Prairie Ridge brings it up court. Bradshaw dumping it back to Card. Card underneath to Loading. Over to Otto. Otto clear across to Bradshaw for three. Not going to drop, but underneath it. Back underneath to Eschweiler, and he drops the rebound. Got a little contact. Eschweiler standing at that free throw stripe. First one is good. Doran back in for Prairie Ridge. Second attempt on this free throws. Rims it, but no. Nolan takes it on the far end. Dribbles across the line. Throws it underneath to their big man, Josh Freeman. Sanap for three, and he drains another three. CNIP, I believe, is how the announcer is calling it. He's 9 for the day. Underneath, not gonna drop. Dorn sends it back out to Lamb, and it's stolen. A free layup, and it's good by Luke Nolan. Otto tries to get it underneath. They throw it out to Lamb. Back over to Card, as Card tries to slow the pace down just a little bit. Card takes it, looking for someone to get open. Throws it to Lamb. Lamb works it around, back over to Card. Card to Lamb. Card takes it underneath. Eschweiler puts up a 10-footer, but it's not gonna drop. As Josh tries to pass it, and it gets thrown out of bounds. Little miscommunication there by the Crystal Lake South Gators. As Lamb throws it back in. Over to Dorn. Dorn to Peyton. Peyton Otto back with the ball. Takes a dribble in, stops. As Dorn goes to the basket with it, but it's not gonna fall. Long court pass to Gasky. Back out to Sanap. Does not get it, but Nolan drops in the rebound. Bradshaw throws it over to Card for three, not gonna make it. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Nice bounce pass underneath to Wild, who drops it and gets the foul. His first of the night, foul that is. Tyler Haskin is coming in for South. His free attempt is not gonna drop. All right, here's that 2-on-1. Beautiful bounce pass, and he just lays it up as Lamb slaps him on the arm as he gets the bucket, and unfortunately does not get the freebie after that. Lamb from about 20 feet, not gonna drop. Bradshaw gets the rebound, turns around, tries to get up there. Little contact, but no call. Senap takes the ball, dumps it down to Friesen. Friesen gets it underneath to Tyler Haskin again for another three. For another 2 points there for him. And Prairie Ridge calls a full timeout on that one. As Crystal Lake South takes a 24-14 lead. And we're gonna show you that replay of that layup right here. He came in, dumped it underneath, and just put it right under that three-man defense, snuck in behind them. The Gators are definitely controlling the pace of this game. This game is brought to you by Myers, and the whole classic, Hinkle Holiday Classic is brought to you by Myers. The broadcast is brought to you by the Beacon Academy. These young high school kids are broadcasting this game live to you, so I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. As we get ready to start after that full timeout. Prairie Ridge is trying to slow up this pace as Bradshaw will inbound it to Doran. Doran back to Bradshaw. Back over to Card. Card underneath to Otto. Doran fakes the shot, tries to pass it over to Card, but it gets knocked out of bounds. Card to inbound it. Doran takes it, crosses over the mid-stripe. Over to Bradshaw. Bradshaw dumps it into Doran. Doran underneath to Lamb. Back in Otto for three, and he hits one. As South tries to bring it over the timeline, underneath to the big man. Back up for Tyler Haskin, who picks up another point on his score sheet here. For three, it's not going to drop. As Gasky takes the ball up court, looking to try to set something up. Friesen dumps it underneath to Nolan, who tries a shot. It's not going to go through. Prairie Ridge takes it underneath. A nice little handoff there to Doran, who will get his 9th point of the night. Gasky back over to Nolan. Nolan to Sisnop. Underneath to Gasky. Nolan for three, and he hits it. Gasky takes it up court again, looking to try to set something up. He stops for three, off to the right. Now the game is picking up a little bit more speed here as Otto dumps it over to Doran, whose shot goes clear over the rim. Gasky again trying to set something up as the Gators are trying to slow this pace down with just 38 seconds left in the half. Back over to Gasky. Sinop holding the ball. Just waiting for that last shot. Back over to Gasky. Trying to get someone underneath open. And outside is Nolan for three. It's not going to go. Well, that brings us to the conclusion of our first half. The Crystal Lake South Gators 30, the Prairie Ridge Wolves 19. These guys are going to go into their locker rooms and try to regroup and try to make some adjustments. Our leading scorer for the Prairie Ridge looks like it's going to be Brian Dorn with 9. And Tyler Haskin for the Crystal Lake South with 11. Well, as the teams go into the locker rooms and readjust their game plan, we're going to take a short break here. We'll be back in a few minutes for the second half of this game between the Prairie Ridge Wolves and the Crystal Lake South Gators here at the Hinkle Holiday Classic, sponsored by Myers. some action here. Back to some action as the boys come out of the locker room. All right, a little practice shoot around for about 15, 20 seconds. And now we're getting ready to start the second half of this game. Gators looking to try to control this game. They've got a 11-point lead, and Prairie Ridge hopefully went in there and tried to figure out what they can do to get this game back to an even game. As we're about to get started here on game number 29 of this series. We're going all night tonight, and then we're going to take a break for the holiday and be back on Saturday. Prairie Ridge inbounds the ball, and Dorn takes it, steps across the timeline. Dorn again, trying to find an opening. Dumps it off to the corner to Card. Card takes it, looks around, over to Otto. Otto to Bradshaw. Bradshaw gets it back. Throws it to Loading, who drops a 2. Nolan takes it up court. As they come across the timeline, trying to get a stolen away. Myers saves the ball. Takes it to the far side, drops it to Nolan. Nolan to the big man underneath. The big man tosses it over to Myers, who goes in for the bucket, and that quickly he gets his name on the score sheet for the second half. Doran for 3, not gonna drop. Although Loading picks up the rebound and does a little playground move, throws it off the leg of one of the South defenders. Card to inbounds it in. Tries to get it to Bradshaw, he's not available. Although Otto takes it. Otto dumps it off to Bradshaw. Bradshaw back to Dorn. Card tries to move it in. Gets trapped by 2 and stolen away as Friesen will take it over to Gasky. Gasky over to Myers. Myers back to Friesen in the middle. He'll take about an 18-footer. That's not gonna go. And we've got a player down. It's Logan Card. Looked like there was some contact underneath on Zach Gasky. A little rough under the boards there. Dorn takes it up court again now. Dorn trying to set something up as he dumps it off to Bradshaw. Back to Dorn again. Dorn over to Card. Card tries to take it in. He dumps it around to Bradshaw. Back to Dorn. Underneath to Otto. Peyton Otto with about a 5-footer who hits that one. As Prairie Ridge starts to put a little bit more of a press on them. Myers takes it, tries to look underneath, goes over to Nolan. Nolan over to the far side to Gasky. Gasky dishes it back out. Nolan for 3, not gonna drop. As Dorn takes his own rebound, goes all the way in, dumps it over to Peyton Otto for 3, off the rim. Gasky bringing it up again, met by 2 defenders. Dumps it over where Nolan will take it on the near side. Back over to Gasky for 3, not gonna drop. South gets their own rebound. Myers tries to look around to set this thing up as he dumps it to Nolan. Back to Myers. Myers goes in, tries to get in, he drops it. As they're sharing baskets back and forth. Otto takes it over to Card. Card clear across to Bradshaw. A nice little bounce pass to Loading over to Doran, who tries to put it up, and he gets it taken away by South. as they're moving this ball quickly up and down the court. Myers. Gasky for three, and he hits it. As Bradshaw brings over the timeline, and Prairie Ridge calls another timeout. Well, this Gators came out. They're trying to go. They're matching them point for point as they go back and forth, up and down the court. The difference is Zach Gasky with a three, and Matthew Myers with a three. They just get an open man and just drain both of the threes. Myers has got 5 for this quarter, which will give him 8 for the day. Luke Nolan has got 7. He's their second leader. Let's go to the replay here and show this three. And it just catches the far rim and drops it in for Zach Gasky. Prairie Ridge is trying to figure out how to stop the hot hand of the Crystal Lake South Gators. Score 37-23. As they break their huddles and come out. 4:07 left in the third quarter. As Bradshaw will be inbouncing the ball. He does to Otto. Otto underneath again, dishes it out. A three is not going to drop. As we've got Kyle loading in now. Myers taking the ball. Myers getting it back and forth back to Myers. They're just playing catch with it, making the Prairie Ridge defense run back and forth. Cesenop tries to dump it underneath, but is stolen away by Otto. Otto with a nice little bounce pass to Lamb. He dumps it over to Bradshaw, who does not get that three-pointer. Gasky takes it underneath with the one-handed reverse layup, and it drops. Otto over to Potter. Potter dumps it down to Loading. And Loading goes for the two, but does not get that one. Rims around and pulled down by South. Meyer takes it again across the timeline. Underneath to Friesen. He goes around, tries to turn around and spin it. He had to get rid of that or he would have been called for a walk. As he's going to come take a seat as Matthew Holland comes in. Potter takes the ball for Prairie Ridge. Over to Lamb. Back over to Doran. Potter again, trying to set something up as they try to pinch it out of him. Back to Bradshaw. Doran underneath, dishes it back out. Potter for three, it's not gonna drop. As we got a contact underneath by Prairie Ridge. The first team foul of the half. Cesenop taking it back over to Myers. Myers back to Cesenop. Over to Gasky, back to Cesenop as he points out some things. Myers dumps it underneath to Gasky, back out to Myers. Cesenop clear cross over to Gasky, who jumps, not gonna drop. Underneath though, gets it, and we've got a foul. Murtaugh Buckner at the line. His first shot is good. Gets him on the scoring sheet. As Nolan comes back into the game. Nolan, Wild, Buckner, Cesenop, and Myers for South. His second shot off the back, not going to drop as Bradshaw picks the rebound and brings it up court. Dribbles between the legs, throws it out over to Doran. Doran underneath, back out to Doran again. Doran cuts through the defense, weaves in, not going to drop. Loose ball on the floor, picked up by Ridge. Stolen back by South as they bring it up court. Cesenop over to Nolan. Nolan back to Cesenop. Over to Wild. Wild back over to Cesenop, who's quarterbacking this team around. Myers back and forth as they try to set something up. Waiting for that last shot from about 24 feet. Not going to drop is Wild. Card taking it. Card looking at the clock, seeing that we got to slow this thing down. Wait for that last shot of the third quarter. 26 seconds left. As Card takes it and just passes it back and forth. As they're looking around, watching that clock, waiting for Dorn. Starts his dribble, moves to his right. Back over to Bradshaw. Bradshaw stops, pulls up, and drops another one. And he gets on the scoring sheet tonight. So, 3 quarters in the books as the Prairie Ridge Wolves still cannot catch a break to catch up. It is 40-25, the Crystal Lake South Gators. Looks like. All right, let's go to the replay and show you Bradshaw's last shot. And that was a kid that back in December, he was on fire against this team. He put up 22 points in the first half, 6 three-pointers. Of course, he didn't get anything in the second half, but they didn't need it because they really beat him. And I guess this is kind of payback time for him. And that's South is looking for payback time. They'll probably be sticking around to see their opponents because the next game is Bartlett versus Marion Central. Bartlett, the winner of the Bartlett-Marion Central game will be playing the winner of this game for the championship in Constellation A bracket. So as we get set for a fresh 8 on the board, Cesenop taking the ball up, looking to come across the line. He does. Myers has it in front of me. Myers looking, dishing it out to Nolan. Nolan tries to give it back to Myers. He's cutting in, and unfortunately he's not there to get the pass as Lamb will inbound the ball. Dorn underneath to Lamb. Lamb dishing it out. Goes underneath to Logan. Card, and he gets the point and a foul. Friesen comes back into the game as Buckner comes out. Also Logan coming out. Card hits the free one. 40-28 now. South trying to inbound the ball. Friesen takes it, starts to dribble, and the big man passes it off and lets the guards take it up. Cesenop, back to Myers. Myers dumping it underneath. Trying to get something, ball on the floor, but Ridge takes over as Lamb brings it up court. Taking it in all by himself, goes in for the layup, and he drops it. As now they've cut their deficit down to 10. as a 30-second timeout is called here. Hopefully we can get a replay on that last play. Awesome. Let's see it as Lamb cuts through the defense and goes right in and lays it up. As we see on the screen there, our referee's doing a fantastic job. Here's that shot again. He takes it all the way up, cuts through 3 defenders, and then puts it up with the left hand. Nice job of the kids in the truck. 7:07 left in this game. There we go. South to inbounds it. Myers again taking it underneath. As Ridge is putting a little pressure on him. Nolan to Gasky. Gasky to try to get it to Ceasonot, but it's stolen away by Logan Card. He dishes it off to Otto. As Card tries to put one up again and does not fall. South again to inbounds it. Myers looking up court, stops, throws it off to Logan. Ceasonot for 3, not gonna hit it. Although South right underneath for the rebound. Back to Ceasonot. He'll move in and take about a 12-footer, but that won't drop. Nolan taking it. Nolan setting it up, trying to look for someone underneath. He dumps it off to Gasky. Gasky back to Nolan. Nolan to Ceasonot. Over to Gasky. His shot is off the back of the rim. Underneath to Myers, but he can't get a handle on it as the ball is just bouncing around, and finally Myers goes to put it up and he gets hit on the arm. And Myers will go to the line for 2. Eschweiler picks up a foul. Myers' first shot off the back of the iron. It's not going to drop. Second one, here we go. Again off the back of the iron, but not going to drop as Peyton Otto takes it, gets it stolen away from behind. Loose ball on the floor. And Prairie Ridge will keep possession of the ball. Bradshaw to inbounds it. Dorn waiting to receive it as he takes it, brings it up to the right side. Back over to Bradshaw, back to Dorn. And that's a nice 3-pointer by number 20, Kyle Loading. Gasky trying to make something happen here. Over to Myers. Myers trying to split 3 defenders. Dumps it to Gasky for 3. Not going to happen. To Friedman underneath, trying to get a board, and little contact there. Josh Friesen will go to the line. Christopher Bradshaw, his 3rd foul of the night. As Friesen will take his first. He's 2 for 2 from the free strike. And he knocks down another one. 3 for 3 from that free line. Weston Buckner coming in. His second one. And it's good. Card bringing it up, crossover to Bradshaw. Bradshaw looking, he dishes it off to Stenzel. Stenzel back to loading. Back to Stenzel. Otto looking to try to set something up. He sends it to Card. Card from about 18 feet, not going to drop. As Buckner pulls the rebound on, Myers takes it over to Nolan. Back to Myers, they're trying to get across court. Little quick underneath to freeze in, and he tries to put it up, and he gets hit again on a foul.
Prairie foul number 20 foul on his first team fifth. Friesen to the line.
Friesen back to the line again. Friesen is 4 for 4 on the free stripe. Number 5 for the night for him. And again, he's perfect. I don't think he's hit the rim yet. Nothing but. All right. Look at this loose ball underneath foul where Friesen goes up and he gets slapped on the arm. And for that, he gets 2 freebies. Here's the second one. And again, this kid is 100% on the line. 4:16 left in this game. 11-point deficit for Prairie Ridge. As Bradshaw takes it, tries to look underneath to get it going. He can't find anybody. Otto taking it, goes underneath Brad, and that would be Doran for 3 and not going to drop. As South tries to take control of this game by slowing it down a little bit as Myers goes underneath to Gasky. Gasky back to Myers. Myers dumps it back off to Gasky, who's behind the arc, and he's looking. Myers dribbles in a little bit, tosses it over to Nolan. Nolan working it around over to Gasky. And we've got some contact as Prairie Ridge tries to kind of pinch them down on them. As we've got some substitutions coming in. Corey Lamb is replacing Kyle Loading. Gasky over the timeline, tries to bring it in deep, pulls back. As it's stolen away by Peyton Otto. He stops from about 14 feet and drops it again. As the full court press is on, that leaves someone underneath, which is Friesen, as he gets called for a walk. Traveling underneath. Josh Friesen. Prairie Ridge brings it in again now. Chad Card up to Lamb, back over to Card. He dribbles underneath, dishing it off to Kyle Stenzel for the bucket. As again, they're putting the pressure on him defense. The problem with that full court pressure is that it leaves someone underneath wide open. And Buckner gets another 2 there. Back and forth, they're trying to quicken this pace up as we get some kind of contact underneath. I'll tell you in a second who this is on. On Crystal Lake. It's Crystal Lake's 3rd foul. As Card gets his first one in. Card is 2 for 3 from the free strike. His second one, rims around and not going to drop. Myers taking it across the timeline, brings it over to Nolan. Nolan back to Myers. He dribbles around, tosses it over to Nolan, back to Myers. Myers looking underneath, can't find anybody. As a timeout is called by South. Well, we're getting down to the last minute 55 of this game. Crystal Lake South still with a 46 to 38. The booth tells me, or the truck tells me I got a nice little replay here. And I believe that looks like Lamb's one-handed push-up shot. Thank you for that, kids in the truck. I appreciate that random replay. So, as our timeout has come to an end. Oh, they're showing me up there. There you go. Here we go, the last 2 minutes, a little under 2 minutes left in this contest. Nolan inbounds it. Myers clear pass way underneath his own basket as he brings it up. Takes a look, passes it back out to Nolan, back to Myers. Myers looking for someone underneath. Gets Buckner underneath. As Buckner goes to try to put it up, he gets hit on the arm. And he'll be shooting two. Buckner's made his first 2 free throws. This will be number 3 for him for the night. And again, drains that one. As you see, they went underneath and Buckner just, it was a loose ball, picked it up and tried to go up with it as Doran hit him on the arm. The next one drops. As Prairie Ridge takes ball up court. Card looking for it, dumps it to Lamb. Lamb over to Bradshaw. Myers tries to bring it in. Over to Gasky. Gasky trying to get underneath to someone open. Dishes it to Myers, who dribbles around the corner, goes up for the layup, but not gonna happen as there's some contact underneath. On Crystal Lake South. On Buckner, it's his 5th of the night. A little over a minute left, 70 seconds. As Buckner comes out, 5 fouls on the night for him. Being replaced by Noel Weilo. Otto taking it, tries to cut across the middle, but he gets it stolen by Nolan. Nolan to Gasky. Gasky tries to jump it back, but Prairie Ridge takes it and drops a 3. Is Card, but that's off the rim as we get a jump ball. Ridge will keep the ball. They'll keep the possession. Ridge is coming squeaking back in this game, 48-41, with 49.4 left to go. Lamb taking it, dribbles in, dishes underneath to Doran, who drops another one. Crystal Lake South calls its final timeout as they've cut the lead down to 5. 48-43 with 45.6 left on the clock. It's going to make the exciting last few seconds here. All right. As the inbounds, Lamb takes it underneath, dishes it off to Doran, I'm sorry, and Doran puts it up, cutting the lead down to only 5 now. It is still a 2-possession game for Prairie Ridge Plenty of time left on the clock with 45.6. Got to wave to camera 4. There you are, camera 4. Thank you. Thank you. We are trying to bring you the Hinkle Holiday Classic, brought to you by Myers, and of course the lovely students from South Elgin's Beacon Academy broadcasting. As the ball's inbounded, South trying to move up court, and there's contact. A trip is called on Peyton Otto. It's his first, the team's 8th. So we're gonna go. Let's see how Peyton had his caught. They just caught foots. They just got their feet tangled up as he would try to come around. Right about there. As you see, he got his feet tangled. All right, back to the action. Misses that free throw. But Lamb for 3, not gonna drop. As Peyton gets the rebound and gets bumped underneath. Myers gets the foul. It's the team's 5th. Prairie Ridge to inbound it underneath. Bradshaw takes the ball, tries to go in. Referee says he stepped on the line. As they're looking at the line like it's moved. That's kind of humorous there. They're looking at the line like it didn't. I didn't step on it. 30.2 left on that clock as South tries to inboard. Gasky takes it, starts dribbling it up, dumps it off to Wild. Wild to Friesen as Friesen gets fouled, and he'll go to the line. I don't know if I want to be fouling Friesen. He is perfect from the free strike. 6 for 6. And his shot. Off the front, off the backboard, and drops in again. His second one. Seeing if he could stay perfect from the free throw stripe. And he does, 8 for 8 for Josh Friesen. Otto bringing it up court, stops, pulls up behind the 3, and drains a 3. Down by 4 now. As there's another foul as they're trying to bring it up court. Timeout is called by South as Prairie Ridge is only down by 4. I'm sorry, down by 4. We've got some youngsters up there dancing around. They're enjoying themselves here on this holiday break. They just finally see themselves on the camera there. Not too bad of a crowd. Big games are obviously tonight. And then we've got Saturday for the championship games, where we'll be broadcasting all of those via the Hinkle Holiday Classic channel right here on YouTube. Sponsored by Myers. Boys break the huddle. They're about to come back to play the last 11.6 seconds in this exciting finish. As Nolan will try to inbound the ball for South. Nolan does, gets it to. As they're going to say, he stepped on the line again, I believe. Wild stepped on the line. Oh no, it's another timeout. Full timeout there. 8.2 on the clock. Still a 2-possession game for Prairie Ridge as they're making their adjustments, trying to get 2 quick possessions here. South obviously will bring this up and will get fouled, and hopefully they'll miss it, and Prairie Ridge will bring it down and score, I guess is what's coming out of the one huddle. The other huddle is, of course, if you get fouled, take your chance, take the time, and drop both of your free throws to extend that lead. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast here. We've got a lot more basketball today to be played. Next game up is Marion Central, Bartlett High School. Winner of that game plays the winner of this game for the championship in Consolation A. Nolan to inbound the ball. 8.2 left on the clock. Here we go. Nolan tries to dump it in to Gasky. Little contact underneath. And that's going to go against South. Zach Gasky. It's his second, it's the team 6. As we, two seconds ticked off the clock on that one. As they're in the bonus now for the next one. Otto takes it, brings it up from about 26 feet, and he drains a 3. As time expires, not gonna be good enough, 50-49. A little bit of a time management on the clock problem there. However, the Crystal Lake South Gators hold on to beat the Prairie Ridge Wolves 50-49. They'll be playing the winner of this next game. And I'm going to show you that last shot by Peyton Otto. Brought it up, stopped, pulled up, and just drained this 3. Unfortunately, time ran out before they can get back and set up for their next shot. Well, that's it for us for this game. As for game number 30 of the night, the Bartlett Hawks will be playing against Marion Central. Again, the winner of this will be playing Crystal Lake South. For us here with the Beacon Academy for Myers Hinkle Classic, as the kids behind my head start to dance around again, we're going to sign off. Enjoy the rest of the day. Stay with us for more basketball. Have a happy holiday. We're out.